Hey guys, welcome back to Easel Does It Studio. So today I have got a custom order. So this is a little bit different. So we are going to be pouring our elk ears that we made, and I'm going to make my turtle that I made. So this mold here I will sell if anybody wants it, or you can just follow how I did it and make your own. This one I cannot, but I wanted to show you so you could make it yourself if you have the original, so that if it gets dull, you have a spare. So let me get this kind of out of my way. I usually clean this, and I am running late getting my video started tonight, so I figured I would just jump on here. So we're gonna make a boy and a girl elk. So the boy's gonna be green and the girl's going to be purple. And I'm just using these mica powders. I got these on Amazon, a while back. And we're gonna make a skull. But this is the fun part. So this I'm gonna take and I'm gonna throw that away because we don't need it. I'm gonna fill this with screws. Different nuts, bolts, screws, whatever. So we're just gonna get a bunch in here, and I was hoping that I was gonna be able to get somehow to get them to float, but that is not gonna happen. So instead of, and let me just cover these so I don't get any baby oil in there. So instead of them floating, because she wants a few screws loose, skull, which I thought was absolutely adorable. So, because I already had put them in, because I didn't know how many more I needed when I had my husband go get me some more screws. So I am going to have to really, really clean the outside of this, because these are all baby oil. So yeah, that's gonna take me a minute. So I don't know exactly how much resin I'm gonna need for the skull, because I'm gonna do it in 2 pours. I'm contemplating 2 pours or 1 with stone. So I guess we will have to see once I start pouring some resin on. All right. Because I didn't want to put water in here, because the screws and whatever would rust over time, and then the water would get kind of nasty. So, all right, let me just kind of wipe this ball down, and then we're going to have to clean it really good with some alcohol. What I should have done was just left what I had in there and added to it. But, all right. So, my husband went out into his stash of nuts and bolts, and he got me some ones that we don't use that much. So these were all like left over from like furniture pieces that we had built. You know how you always get like a handful of extra screws and stuff like that? So that's what those were. And I even threw in I think there's a few like sheetrock screws or wood screws, or I don't know. whatever I could get my little fingers on is what I did. So this little skull is going to be pretty heavy. So I want it to be full enough that the screws are gonna show up. And I didn't cut that piece off because I knew I was gonna need something to really UV around because of the baby oil. And I knew my fingers were gonna be all slimy from the so I probably could have just, you know, like poured these bolts into the skull, but they wanted the movement. They wanted like the snow globe. So I'm like, all right, well, how am I gonna do that? So yeah, this is what we're doing. So I'm thinking this will be plenty once because I still want them to be able to move. They're just not gonna float, but yeah, I used up that one bag. All right. So yeah, I've just had so much going on today. It has been crazy. All right, so this is some soapy water right here. So I am just going to really try and get the oil off from around there. And I'll probably have to do it again after I pour some baby oil in, but I'm going to do it from the bottle. So I'm hoping that I can just really get it in there and not have to get it all over the sides is my hopes. All right, so I've just got regular Johnson's baby oil, nothing spectacular. So normally I would mix water and glycerin because water and baby oil do not mix well. But because these are screws, I didn't want water because I knew that they would rust, and they're not going to rust in baby oil. All right. And I did not fill it to the top because I was afraid if I did, then I'm not going to get that good seal. So there will be a bigger bubble, but that's fine. All right, so let me put some more alcohol. And I want to make sure that that is really, really dried. Okay. So we're just going to move that back for a minute. Throw those over there. so I do have my resin in the debubbler. And so I made up 10 ounces and I divided into three cups because I need 2 for this one, 2 for that one, and then whatever's left. And I do want to I want to pour the little turtle just so we can see how it's going to come out. Okay, so I need to get my UV resin and my UV light. And we are going to just make a little medallion on the mat. Let me just make sure I have a clean spot. All right. Have a nice clean spot. All right, so I'm making just a little circle, and I'm not going to cure it fully. I still want it to be pliable. And cure it a little bit more. And of course, that is not big enough. It's not big enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cure that one, and I'm just going to make a bigger one over here. Plus, I got a few bubbles. Come on. All right, so let me see, 30 seconds. A little bit more. Oh. All right, let me clean my knife. Clean my mat so I can bring this closer to me. And then we're going to cure that. And then I'm going to put some more UV around it. All right. So I'm really making sure I get around the edge and over the top. And we're gonna get that curing. And then I'm gonna do the sides. Just because I don't want this to leak. All right, so I'm just gonna get some going around the side here. All right, so I just wanna, I had one low spot here. I'm just trying to find it right here. So, because this is baby oil, I'm really trying to get it around there really, really good, because this part here is not really going to be seen, but I want to make sure that I have that good seal in there. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this underneath my big light, and we'll get that cured while I get my little Elks resin mixed up. So yeah, so he's gonna have some screws loose. All right, so I gotta take my plastic tray out so it will fit underneath this and cure. All right. I'll put it on the 5 minutes, and I am going to get a baby wipe, and wipe my hands because I got baby oil all over them. All right. So we are going to, let me get this to the 4-ounce mark. All right, and then I'm going to take a paper cup and I'm going to put 2 ounces in one. All right, because one we want, we're gonna do green, and the other one we're going to do in the purple. All right, so let's get the green one mixed up. All right, get a bigger stir stick here. All right, so that is good. All right, so wipe this, and we're gonna get the purple. And my table is full because I have all the other things that I need to do to my elk after. So I've got a bunch of crap on my workstation. Why I got it all out tonight, I don't know, but I did. All right, so let's use this violet color. Wipe that stick. And we'll get this one mixed up. I should have put the powder in first, guys. I know, but I didn't think of it. I'm just now thinking of it. It's late. It's almost 9:30, and I am just starting my project. So, yeah, I am a little off today. But I wanted to get this started so I can get this finished tomorrow. All right. That's a pretty purple. And whatever that brand is, it blends in really, really well. All right, so I don't need that anymore. I was just using that to hold up my my little ball. All right, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of alcohol on my paper towel, and I'm just gonna give this just a wipe out just in case there is any debris in there. All right, so let's give this little bugger a little spray. And let's get the green going in. I do want to squeeze his little eyeballs because we don't want no bubbles in the eyes, and I don't want none in the tail. Really? That was 2 ounces, so let me pour a little bit more. That's why I ended up making a little bit more than what I thought I was gonna need. And that was my green. I just added. There's my purple. And where is my, oh, right here. Duh. All right. All right, so I need to get this so I can do one of the sets. one of the sets of ears done too. All right, so I'm gonna pour the ears first so we can get them in there. Not the ears, the antlers. I keep wanting to call them ears. And I know that's not what they are. Okay. And let's try to get him filled up. So I thought these took 2, but it might be 2.5 ounces. All right, so we've got a little tiny bit left. I'll put that there. And I'm just gonna pour a little bit more in the purple, just so I can hopefully have enough. All right, so let me mix that up. Okay. So I'm gonna get, you do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna spray a little alcohol, and I'm just gonna kind of wipe out the inside a little bit. I just want to make sure that pink is not, excuse me. All right. So, all right, so I'm gonna squeeze the eyeballs, little tail. Move that one back. And now I have way too much in this one. That's all right, we'll make something. All right, so I can see a little bubble in this one. And it might have just been my mold. I mean, that is, I made this one. This is just a handmade one. But I wanted to see if it was going to work. All right. So let's move this. I want to move these out of my way because we all know what will happen if I do not move these out of my way. Right? Right. Okay. So, let's spray this guy. The inside is pretty clean. The outside is kind of cruddy, but let's see. All right. So let's get our little just want to make sure I've got no oils coming out. All right, so that looks good. So I'm gonna pour some in the bottom. And we're going to put this in. And oh, I just had a dotting tool right here. I should have sprayed the ball with some alcohol, but I did not. Get out of there, bubble. Thank you. All right, so this is kind of what I was thinking of, trying to get it at an angle so then I could mica powder where the teeth are and around to the back. But I definitely am going to need more resin in there. All right, so I need something. There we go. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to pour him in two layers, because I've actually pretty much got it to exactly where I want it. So let's pour this guy, and then I will find something for the extras. But I am going to use the Marabou alcohol ink for this little guy. And I think this one takes like maybe what, a half an ounce. So that's almost an ounce. So yeah, we're definitely going to have too much, but that's okay. Because I also have my cat here, my little cat mold. So we can pour something in there. And I have some green and some purple left, so. All right. That way the turtle's gonna be clear, but he's gonna have that shimmer of color throughout the sparkles. So you can see them. All right, so I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit to work out some of those bubbles that I just put in there. And let's see, I've got 2 ounces. I do not know what Miss Kitty takes. So let's try, this is the glitter that I got from Resin Rockers, and it is Janie's Got a Gun is the color of this from Resin Rockers. So I am going to mix in some of that, because I'm dying to see what this looks like in resin, because I have not used this one yet. But I figured this would make a pretty kitty color. Okay. I am going to drop, even though this is a really fine glitter, I am going to drop a couple drops of the Clear Elmer's glue, and that will just help to make sure that that glitter stays suspended. 1, 2. See how goopy that gets? You like just about have to cut it with a knife. All right, so let's spray our kitty, and we're gonna pour and see where we're at. I think this is the mold that kind of wants to tip, so I'm gonna lean something up next to it. Cool, so this kitty takes a good 2 ounces. Good to know. That's like so thick. All right, and I have some bubbles coming up. All right, so let me get my rocks that I was gonna use in the skull, but all right. So let's pour this guy and hope and pray we have enough. And we had just enough. Phew. All right. So I have got some purple and a little bit of green left. So I will find something to put that in. And then I will come back when it's time. We're going to color that with a mica powder, and then I'm going to pour black, and then we'll wait for that to cure and we will demold. So I will see you in a little bit, guys. Okay, guys, we are ready. We're going to put our next layer in. I've mixed up 5.5 ounces because I need to finish filling this little unicorn. But we are going to get this one covered, and I picked out the deep blue in the intense chameleon powder. It comes in a pack of 5. Alrighty. It looks purple in here, but it says it's deep blue. All right, so let me just move Mr. Kitty over here. And we are going to very gently get the mold. Now, when you're doing something like this, you've got to make sure that you're not pushing hard to break the seal where the original poured resin is in the mold, because if you do, you are going to have leakage underneath there, and it's not going to look pretty. No, it won't. And ask me how I know that. Okay, now getting down in underneath there is going to be tricky. Well, this side is not bad. The other side is. All right, just want to make sure that's all covered. So that is. Now to get underneath this. And I don't know if I got it all, but I don't think I've done a two-tone one like this, so I'm curious to see how it is going to come out. I'm just going around making sure I've got coverage everywhere. Okay. And it looks like it's actually sticking to the ball, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a layer on the ball and see if it gives us a different effect with them screws in there. I don't know. crap. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is I am gonna clean up my mass, and then B, we are going to unmold some of these, and that way I can work on those while the rest of the skull is curing. All right. Gonna have to take some tape later and get the little chunks of dried resin off. All right, so let's go ahead and see how my little turtle mold turned out here. Are we ready? Look at that, just as crystally. And you can see a little bit of that shimmer through it. I don't know if it's probably not showing on camera, but yeah, it is. Okay, so that's that one. That one came out gorgeous. All right, let's see our antlers here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm definitely going to make another set, but I think I'm going, like I said, I'm going to use the 10A instead of the 0. But now I have some spares, so if I lose my little antler ones, I have a spare mold. All right, so let's get him out, because these are going to take me a little while to get these ones done how she wants them. So I figured if I unmold them and then I can get them ready, and when we come back for the demold of the skull, I will have these ones all ready to show you guys. I know, I'm off camera, guys, sorry. These big heads are brutal. Oh, he's adorable. Look at that. He is adorable. All right, so I will get, oh, I will get his ears glued in, and I will get him all decked out. So let's see how a little lady friend is turned out. This one shrunk a lot, so I'm gonna probably fill him in with some UV resin. Move this. If I slip, I'm gonna throw it across the table here. There we go. And she came out perfect too. So their ears are a little bit bendy. So what I'll probably do is I'll pop them in the curing machine for a little bit, maybe a half hour, just to finish firming them up while I'm decorating these. All right, so let's get this kitty out and see how this glitter worked. And yes, I realized I forgot my gloves yesterday. I realized that when I was cleaning up after. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my gloves. But this is our kitty. Isn't she precious? So that glitter stayed pretty suspended throughout. It gave her like a grayish shade. So yeah, that's our little kitty. All right, let me get this resin. All right. And I need my black pigment because we are going to color that black. And let me get my gloves on before I forget again. You guys are going to be yelling at me. And I had 2 pairs sitting on my desk here so that I had them ready and I had a spare in case. All right, so I'm thinking, I made 5.5 ounces. I'm thinking 4 ounces might do it. So that's what I'm gonna mix in the black, just to, before I finish filling that, because I can do that on another video even. But I'm thinking 4 ounces should be enough. All right, so let's pour that in and see. So I will give this probably an hour, and then I will pop the skull into the curing machine so I can get this done today. This is just the regular epoxy resin, the same as I used in the first pour. All right, I gotta wipe my stick off here to see. I want to make sure that I can't see through it. No, that's good. All righty. Put this on. Now we can leave it straight because we're just filling in the rest. And got like an ounce of the black left, so it took 3 more ounces. All right. So let me, first we're gonna give this a spray, and it is domed really well. Let me move my critters out of the way here, and we're just gonna set him back there. And we'll mix some purple. So what I did is I had that little bit of green, and I kind of poured it so it's like in her mane. And I scraped out whatever I had left of that, and I poured that in with the purple. So she's going to have a little bit of a hobo coloring going on in there. All right, so let's get this all mixed up. All right, and then when I pop that into the curing machine, I'll put this one in too. So I think she's gonna have a little clear layer in between. All right, and she is full too. Whoa. Do not knock over, please. All right. So I'm going to let these sit for like a good hour. Then I'm going to put them into the curing machine. And when we come back to demold these 3 will be all decked out. So I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I'm really nervous because there was baby oil all underneath this in the curing machine. I think that was a mistake. I think my ball might have melted. I don't know. So I'm just going to move all my pieces to the side, and I am just gonna put something underneath. And I guess we're gonna try to unmold this first, because I don't know what happened. I waited an hour to put it in. So I know this bubbled, but I don't know. I guess we're about to find out. Everything looks kind of okay. I don't know. There's some... Yep. I can hear some liquid. Crud. That'll teach me to experiment. I'm gonna have bolts flying everywhere. I can already tell. All right. Well, it makes demold very easy. I don't know. Yep, you can see right in here, kind of like, I think melted a little bit. But I'm thinking maybe I can fix it with some UV. I don't know. All right, I gotta... All right, so where... All right, let me see if we can maybe get some of this oil off so I can tell if it is still leaking, or I never even gave that a thought, guys, with the plastic ball in there. What an idiot I am. What an idiot. But if I could coat that with some UV, because other than that, look, it's really cool. So yeah. I mean, I can fix all this at the bottom. You know, I could fill that in, fill this in just so it's even. It doesn't seem like it is leaking now, though. So if I could put a clear coat over that. And it's still pretty warm. But other than that, he came out awesome. I'm not seeing any bubbles or anything. Why did I have to put that in there? Why? Oh, why? All right, I'm going to take some soapy water. This is my soap and water mixture. And And I'll wipe it so I don't have any soap residue. All right, so I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it, let it cool down, and see if for some reason it is still leaking, because I don't want to go ahead and put any more time into this if it is still leaking. I don't think it is, but I just want to make sure. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to bring it upstairs once it cools, wash it in the sink to make sure that I've got all that oily residue off. And then I will try and give this like a skim coat of clear UV resin. You know, maybe I'll just do like this whole backside and then fill this in. So, all right, let me just get a clean paper towel to set this on so that I know if it's leaking or if it's not. So I'm just gonna do this, and we'll just set this here, and I'll wait and see what happens. Gosh. Because there was definitely a lot of paper oil. So note to self, if you have a plastic ball in your skull, don't put it in the curing machine because it gets too hot. All right, let me wash my hands with a baby wipe before I show you my finished pieces, and I demold the other ones because I don't want any baby oil on my pieces. So I'm hoping I can salvage him because that skull is pretty awesome looking. Okay. So my little turtle, I put a flat back bail on it, and I just turned it into like a purse charm or a keychain or whatever. So I did that. And wait till you see my couple. I made him a little tuxedo underneath. I painted black and white. I put him a bow tie, his lips. He's got some glasses, some hair, and I put him on a little hat. And then she is all blinged out. She's got her little butterfly necklace and her nose piercings, and she's got ear piercings. She's got a cute little bow with her little diamond on the back. So this is our cute little couple. And I already sent it to the woman that ordered it, and she absolutely loves them. So I'm so happy. So yeah, I will have to see about the skull. But that's our little couple right there. I think they're adorable. Okay, so I ended up taking the rest of the whatever resin that I had, and I did have to take a little out of that, so I just poured it in the bottom here. And I just made another little skull, and he's got some bubbles in here. So I think I'm going to go back to my heat mat, because it seems like every time I use my curing machine, I end up getting bubbles. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go back to my heat mat, and maybe I'll use like the curing machine, like when it's cured, but it's still bendy, I'll just pop it in there for an hour, because yeah, everything I seem to put through there, I end up getting some sort of bubbles. Well, except for that, I didn't get any, but it blew up on me, so. Oh, Lordy. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Let's get a little alcohol. It's not too difficult to demold this one, but I might as well just give it a little extra help. And we got a big old bubble under her chin. So, yeah, I don't know. She's kind of ugly looking. I'll have to give her some eyes and she'll just stay with my misfits. I've got quite a little stash started. And it actually made a ridge of the 2 layers, which is weird. But I mean, she's okay. She's got a little spot on her tail. It doesn't seem to be leaking, guys. All right, so let me just... Yeah, I'm gonna have to use something smaller than this. Yeah, I'm not going to waste much time on that. All right, so I just don't know if I should do it while it's still hot. That is my... But it does not seem to be leaking. All right, so I am gonna try and salvage this because he's really kind of cool looking. He would have been perfect had I not put him in the curing machine. That's what impatience does to you people. I'm just not that patient. And I don't care if the bottom isn't 100% because I can fill that in, and then I could actually even put like a piece of Velcro or something on the bottom. But it's still pretty hot. So I will let him cool down, and then I will get you some final pictures at the end. Alrighty, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.